Programmes tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, Tomorrow's World includes a look at the dangers of driving.
Barry, I've commandeered a vehicle.
The old trick, eh? Eat the telly before I get a chance to nick you.
It's a toaster.
Charlie, you have been defeated. Surrender. You have failed.
Insufficient data.
Nazi ain't got no humanity. They're the foot soldiers of a Jew-hating, mass-murdering maniac, and they need to be destroyed. That's why any and every sumbitch we find wearing a Nazi uniform, they're gonna die.
Is this world protected? But you're not the first lot to have come here. Oh, there have been so many. And what you've got to ask is, what happened to them? Hello. I'm the doctor.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Good evening, guys. Oh, it's a bit screwy. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, guys. Good morning. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are, anywhere in this beautiful world of ours. I am doing quite spiffy, let me tell you. Actually, I'm a bit knackered, right? I'm a bit cream crackered. I wash the floor today, right? I do it every couple of weeks. I know, my daughter lives here, and she often does it. When especially if she gets in trouble. She's like, what? How old is she now? She was born in 97, so she's like 27, right? And she still gets in trouble. It's funny. So she's finally moving out in, I think, next week, right? She's got an apartment near us, but she's got an apartment set, so that's pretty nice. And I did the floor today, and it took me freaking forever because it was filthy, right? And in Israel, the way you do the floor, nobody has carpet, right? You have tiles everywhere, and so you throw water on the floor. And instead of getting a mop, right, you get a thing called a sponger, a squeegee, like, and you just squeegee it. But if you really want to get it clean, which I did, right, I got a little bit obsessed. That happens to me. I got a little bit obsessed. You then, you get the bucket of water, and put the cleaning stuff in it. But then you get a broom after you put it on the floor. Go, scurry. I'm knackered from that. Holy crap. However, the good thing about it was, while I was doing it, I did listen to the latest Big Finish Dark Gallifrey. And it's interesting because, somebody I know who I quite like, we normally have our tastes very, very, very much mesh. He hated it, right? He absolutely hated it. I loved it. It was right up my street. I really, really liked it. I'm looking forward to review that tonight. In fact, I want to get all the reviews done before the chat, right? Because I never get hurt. So here's what we got to do. Celestial Toymaker. Got to review that. I mean, I've been threatening forever to review that. Dark Gallifrey. That was actually really good. I mean, if you're into weirder cerebral tales, yeah, it's fine. If you ever heard the early Big Finish release, Creatures of Beauty, which everybody hated apart from me, literally everybody hated, right? I liked it a lot. Oh, that reminds me, that was written by Nick Briggs, who just unfriended me on Facebook after our. I didn't think it was a. Contra Tom, right? I don't think it was Contra Tom at all, but it did get kind of blown up a little bit because it got picked up by other media, right? Fun enough. Can I find see if I can find the screen grabs of that, right? Because that never let yourself become the story, right? That's the oh, here it is, right here. Look at that. That doink. Let me grab that image and doink. Where we are? So that goes over here, and that goes over here. And there we go. It goes over here. Fine. That's because you're gonna want to see that. Fine. Yeah. So again, so yeah, there was the other. I think it was beginning this week. I can't remember. It was very recently, right? It was very, very recently that I was going over my normal Facebook timeline, and I see this there, right? It was, you see it's a reform ballot box, but underneath they're really Nazis, and I'm like, I'm so sick of this. Honestly, genuinely, I am so unbelievably sick of being called a Nazi, right? Being called a Nazi because like mainstream centre-right views, right? And that's really like, if you can make the case that Donald Trump's a racist or a Nazi, make the case. But then people get so frustrated, or Farage, right? People get so unbelievable. How do you not realize? How do you not see it? How do you not see it? It's because you're looking at it with extreme animus and malice, right? So anyway, I was like, oh, Nick, you shouldn't post that. So I did, I didn't contact him privately. I went to him on Facebook, right? And I responded. I said, Nick, I'm sorry, but this is defamatory nonsense, completely detached from reality. I'm Jewish and a rabbi and fully support reform, as do many peoples of diverse ethnicities and identities, which is true. Their major donors bloody Muslim, for goodness sake. But you know what? Their major donors actually English, rather than Muslim, right? So this caused a bit of a firestorm. So this went on. It kind of blew out. So Nick deleted the initial post, which okay, fine, whatever. And because I was swarmed by the sycophants, the lefty lovey sycophants. Going, how dare you not hate Nigel Farage and intimate he's not a racist? Right? How dare you? I'm like, but okay, look, all you got to do is demonstrate. Like Jeremy Corbyn, I can demonstrate he's a racist. It's really easy. Racists can never, ever hide their racism. Racists are always proud of their race. They sing it from the rooftops. They love their racism. They are proud of it. David Duke, Jeremy Corbyn, whoever you want to name. I don't believe in the secret racists. They're like, I'm going to secretly hate black people. I don't tell anyone, but that's going to make me be nasty to black people. What? Why do you hate black people? Because I don't know. See, it's a fantasy view. It is a fantasy view of a dislike over the unlike, right? Of people not like them, and they got to paint them as being evil. One of the worst things that happen to us, like as a society, is we moralize our political differences, right? I think Nick Briggs is a decent chap, right? I get shit for that all the time, but I genuinely think he's a decent person. I think he's a moral person. I think he's quite talented as well. I like his work, right? Without question. I disagree with him on pretty much everything apart from balsa wood spaceships from the 1970s, but I'm not going to disagree on his basic morality. And if you disagree with them on politics, you're right. Well, yeah, you're a Nazi as always. So anyway, I saw this morning, and I think this very much sums it up, right? I think it very much sums it up.
What was I going to do for the black community? Do you know what I said? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
See, they've somehow twisted this virtue signaling nonsense that they believe is anti-racism into virtue again, into virtue when it's not, right? Treat people like human beings. Don't worry about their ethnicities.
I couldn't give a damn whether you're black or white, whether you're gay or straight. I really don't care. You'll be judged by your character. You'll be judged by your ability. You'll be judged by, are you a contributor to society or a taker out? And right at the moment.
And again, they hear such weird things. Oh, you mean black people when you say take it? No, people are like, ugh. But again, they have to read into it their racism. And look, quite frankly, I think reform have been stitched up 9 ways to Sunday. I think they've been stitched up somewhat less because they entered the race very late. And I just don't, from my personal experience, when people scream racism, that means they can't meet you on the issues, right? They can't debate you on the issues because you're right and they're wrong and they know it, right? And that's really the bottom line. Have the Nige finish off.
This is considered to be dangerous, radical thinking.
Yeah, why is this far right? What, treating everybody with equality and in a colorblind manner?
But I think if we can start to explain why this matters, if we can start to explain that that's the only way we're going to have any chance of a unified society that works together, with mutual benefit for each other, I think this is one of the next great political battles, and we're going to need some quite brave leaders.
Well, you're fucked there because you're literally the only one. It's just you, right? It's just you. But good, good for him. Election day in England. I have no idea what's going to happen, right? I'm always very disappointed, right? So that's why I'm not very hopeful, even though weirdly enough I am as well. Because again, talking about this all on Tuesday, like according to my worldview, right, which I've developed a little bit. I'm bonkers religious. I think there's a messianic age coming, which is good news for everyone. That doesn't mean you have to be Jewish, right? That's the other good thing. You can still eat bacon. Oh, bacon's awesome. My son came home yesterday, and he there's this cut of lamb you can get at a certain place, which when you fry it, smells and tastes just like bacon. Well, not just like bacon's better, okay? Bacon's awesome. I never underestimate how great bacon is. Bacon is freaking fantastic, right? Never say, it's bacon. No, it's awesome. And the proof is you can put bacon in freaking anything, and it's better, right? Anyway, what was I talking about? My son came home, bacon. Before that, Nigel Farage. You can't beat us on the issues. I don't know. I was just rambling, but on the thing I got to get to the reviews, and we got great news. We got season 25 coming out on Blu-ray. I am so stoked, right? Oh, I'm so glad the current era is over. The season's over. It was a bummer. It was shit. It was a mill around my neck. I am never going back to it, right? I'm not buying the DVD, Blu-ray DVD. Never, right? It wasn't very good, right? It wasn't very good. But, what can you do? So what was I going to say? Something about my son coming. What was that segue? I just had something I was talking about, right? I don't know. Election day in the UK. I went over that. Oh yeah, I'm always disappointed because wibbly wobbly wobbly. Yes, I remember where I was at now. Great. It took me about a minute. So I'm watching what's going on in America with fascination, right? As the left just completely crumbles. I mean, the amazement, right? The absolute amazement of how useless Joe Biden actually is, right? I'm just watching him left completely and totally implode. It's kind of fun, I hate to say it. It is kind of fun. My view on that, I don't view anything. I think this world is somewhat like the Matrix, like it's a construct. It's real, but not as real as we think it is. It's an illusionary existence that God created to give us a realm in which God appeared not to exist, so we don't see the benefit of being good over bad, right? And then if we choose good, we elevate ourselves and become better. That's roughly, right? Very simplified. Like the kiddie version. Oh, I just pressed the wrong button. The kiddie version of my general belief. So anyway, I believe it's the end of days. I think this ethereal force, Satan, was given control of the world, and he's dying, right? He's dying. He's withering on the vine, and he was holding together all these things. And as he turns to smoke, it just vanishes. It all falls apart. I mean, it's amazing, right? It is amazing how amazed people are that Joe Biden is completely old and useless. Like we've known for literally years, his brain was just jello. And people were like, no, he's sharp as a tack. Oh, sharp as that. And they realize we've all been they've been lying to everyone, right? It's so bloody obvious at this point. It's just so insanely obvious. Anyway, after the debate. So wait. Here's a picture of Donald Trump after the debate with his thoughts on Biden, right? This is, again, why do I love the Donald? Because he's so awesome, right? So awesome.
The other night.
Amazing.
He kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race.
Yeah, so look, they don't know how to get rid of him, though. And he keeps saying, I'm not going. I'm not going. The White House says, no, absolutely. But he must be. Come on. Look, the Democrats know he can't win, and that's all they care about. That's literally the only thing they care about. They don't care about anything other than winning. And that's, power. Right, and that's, they don't care about right, they don't care about wrong, they don't care about good, they don't care about bad. As is evident from the absolute disaster their governorship has always been. Which, get rid of UK, unless there's a miracle with the polls, and it could be. Like, I don't know, well, how far behind was Trump when in 2016? He was like 5 points behind, generally speaking, wasn't he? By the time they got to election, yeah. Look, reform is 12 points behind. I don't see that. Maybe. I would. Oh God, would I love it so much for him to win. Anyway, let's finish the Donald.
And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad.
She's so bad.
She's so pathetic.
By the way, one of my favorite bits of the day. Is it my favorite bit? The bit where Joe Biden said, there's 6 handicap, which I don't know what that means, but 6 handicap. And Donald couldn't, he just couldn't stop laughing. Like, get out of here. This is a guy who plays golf a lot.
It's just so fucking bad. So I just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy?
The minute people start seeing her cackling inanely and her inability to answer, and she's nuts. She's nuts and useless and stupid. It's not really a great combination for a presidential candidate, I guess. I don't know.
We're dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person. He's a fierce man. A very tough guy, and they see him. They can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, right?
So yeah, that was this ongoing meltdown. I'm just finding it fascinating. So anyway, my theory is, as I said, Satan is dying, right? His power is waning. So that should mean the Niger is a shoo-in, right? By the way, in Israel, it's chaos right now. It's like we've had we are at each other's throats, right? As a nation, we've had this thing called the Yeshiva Army exemption. So the Yeshiva is the ultra-Orthodox. They don't do the army, right? And instead they study Torah. Now, I'm a believer that studying Torah is something. Torah is the Bible. Is something good for the national good. It gives it helps us as much as the army, right? I think because I am a bonkers religious guy, I believe it, right? However, the ultra orthodox also hate everybody else. Just hate. They just look down and they spit on them. They hate everybody else, which is somewhat of a strange thing to do because it's the absolute opposite of our religious values. It really stems back to the leaders of their world, the rabbis that lead them, right? They say they shouldn't work. They should study all day instead, right? And they're all in poverty because of it, right? They need to have jobs. Like if you read the Bible, it's very clear. Somebody's supposed to have a job and a 9 to 5 and work, right? And that makes you into a better person. That makes you into a more meritorious person. But anyway, so the ultra-Orthodox kids, they had an exemption from doing the army, which has been a contentious issue, but they just removed the exemption. So that's bad news. At exactly the same time, there's a massive rocket barrage from up north from, let me pull it up 1 second, from Hezbollah. So that's heating up. They say that's going to really kick off in about a week or so. But they keep saying that. You can't keep telling me that. It's like when they kept telling me they killed the number 2 guy in Al Qaeda, right? They did that for a long time. Remember after 9/11? Oh, we got number 2 guy. Really? Here, let's have a look at the Times of Israel because there's been a massive rocket barrage. I don't know. Netanyahu convened Security Cabinet to discuss Israel's permission imminent hostage ceasefire talks. Yeah. Anyway, soldier killed as Hezbollah fires 200 rockets and 20 drones in major attack. This is a big deal, right? This is a big deal. So Israel's in chaos, right? Essentially, right? And my again, from my worldview, I think because the Satan has limited energy, limited power. He's concentrating on where it matters most, which I think is here. Look, every religion is egocentric, okay? It's just the way it is, right? But again, it's what I believe, right? So I think that's good. But it does mean the Nige should be it. It should be a show. If the satanic forces, which clearly Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak represent, right? The bland side of Satanism, right there. The Niger's clearly more of a godly chap because he's more of a real chap. Yeah, 1 second. What was this one? Ronaldo for explosive Russian. Oh yeah, this is wonderful.
Well, Linda, I have to say, I think this has been one of the worst general election campaigns so far between the two main parties I've ever seen in my lifetime. It isn't just that their leaders are dull, don't clearly, well, very dull in the case of Labour. I mean, sort of Blair without the flair. I mean, the real leader of the Labour Party is here tonight on the stage. At least she's got some personality. We've got Rishi Slippery Sunak. You know, he's fed all the lines to Penny Mordaunt. Don't believe any of it. I think it isn't just our public services that are broken. I think our political model is broken. The arguments that are going on the other side.
I completely agree. Our entire political system is broken. I think most people would agree with that. I think Nick Briggs would agree with that. Our entire political system is broken, right? I don't know why he's unfriended me. Really, it was weird. Because again, I don't feel like I gave him any shit. I was like quite nice, and I've been reasonably complimentary about him all this time.
The room here, when the truth is, they don't really disagree on anything. Fictitious numbers like £2,000, £3,000.
It's so true. I mean, like, it's so true.
And that's why Reform have risen so quickly in the polls. There is a sense we need a revolt against this system. We need an electoral system where we get some proportional representation in Parliament. We need to break up the current.
Just to show how he's been relentlessly stitched up. Look at him having this interview on GB News, which has like probably been the best, one of the best channels to him, which haven't been very good.
Farage, welcome to GB News, your former home, having a pint with Farage.
Absolutely.
1 month ago today, you returned.
All right, so the interview is a bit of a douchebag, right? So let's talk about the Ofcom and Channel 4, right? Channel 4, if you don't know, it's so painfully, obviously a stitch-up, right? They had this guy who puts on a fake voice and fake persona, went out canvassing, and coincidentally, an undercover team from Channel 4 News just happened to be with this guy who was putting on a fake voice, right? As he spilled a bunch of racial epithets, right? And then Phil said, Look, our fantasy of reform and Nigel Farage is all real. Look at you. It's all real. So it wasn't, right? So I don't believe anything. I don't believe, the people who left reform, they had a couple of candidates who dropped out. I don't know. I think it's more likely they were plants there to discredit them than they really are. Like, I don't trust. Once I catch you lying over and over and over again, I've caught you lying over and over again. So here, this is them talking about this. But look at the reaction to the interview.
People can go, but the net number doesn't increase the population. Churchill, well, look, 80 years ago is too long.
Bigoted candidates.
All they do.
Oh, here we go.
Candidates.
80 years ago is too long.
Just on your candidates, I mean, lots of reporting elsewhere on your candidates. Why do other parties not also attract racist, misogynistic, and bigoted candidates?
Oh, they do.
Georgie Davis said that about your candidates.
Oh, yes, they do.
She went over to...
See, that's the thing. You know what? I was going to say, well, again, you want to tell me Labour isn't racist? You want to say, I remember like people who hate Tories saying they're full of racists too, right? So you keep saying everyone's racist, who's not you, all right? Again, do you not remember Jeremy Corbyn, the Greens? I mean, yeah.
Hang on, the Labour Party has been racked with anti-Semitism for years. They even kicked out the man that led them.
They are suspending candidates.
Well, so are we. So what's the difference?
And is there a bigger problem with them or you?
Jeremy Corbyn led them in 2 elections. The Greens have had bigger problems with candidates than we've had. Not that you'd see that reported in the same way.
So you blame the reporting?
I blame the reporting for giving people the false impression that it's a party for racism. I think they're doing that because they're terrified of it, right? And also, I think he might really be in with a chance. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, for example, there was a poll of Sun readers, and 70% of Sun readers are voting reform. Yeah, even though the Sun came out and supported Keir Starmer. Excuse me, what happened to the world where the Sun is supporting Keir fucking Starmer? Really? Something like that? We are in upside down bozo universe right there. But yeah, so I don't know. Look, if 70% of Sun voters vote Farage, vote reform, a massive upset could happen. Oh God, I'd love to wake up tomorrow morning and hear that.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't quite know what I was inheriting a month ago. I've been honorary president.
And again, this seems like a totally honest and fair answer.
I've had nothing to do with the running of this for 3 years, and that's the truth. I mean, you've never believed me, but that is the truth.
Well, you own the party.
And, well, yeah, but it doesn't operate like that.
Okay.
And I've been a bit shocked at just how relatively amateur and start-up the whole thing was. It's not a criticism, but, you know, Richard Tice kept it going. I mean, he put £1 million of his own money.
Yeah. Loans,
yeah, but into keeping it going. Yeah. And yeah, it was a bit of a shambles. So have we got some bad apples? Yes. Is it reflective of the broader party? No.
See, that's the point. Is it reflective of the broader party? Again, it doesn't make any difference. Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning.
We've got, and on this ludicrous racism charge, well, you can see Zia Yusuf is our biggest donor so far in the campaign. We've got plenty of candidates from all sorts of different backgrounds. You know, the Channel 4 thing.
Yeah. Now, the Essex police have said today there's no criminal issue there. They're looking away. There's no investigation.
Yeah, bullshit.
Well, the Essex police can say that, but Ofcom need to do their job. Let's get to the bottom of what really happened here. That man, you know, who was a posh actor, turned up as an Alf Garnett impersonator, did what he did.
He denies that. He denies that now.
You can deny as much as he wants. It's still true.
Well, hang on. He speaks with a posh voice.
So do you. Anyone can talk with a posh.
What's the... Okay, are you a moron? What the hell? So do you. That's not the point, you dumb fuck.
He denies that. He denies that now.
Well, hang on. He speaks with a posh voice.
So do you.
Yeah, and like, look at, again, do you see that little dismissive, like, smirk? So do you. When you make a completely non sequitur point. So what he speaks with, and he doesn't speak with that posh voice, but the point is he put on a fake voice, right? A fake voice.
You. Anyone can talk with a posh voice.
Yeah, but he turned up that morning. It was Call Blimey Governor, and it was Alf Garnett. The whole thing was an act from
day. Again, they can't stand being wrong. That's really the bottom line. They cannot stand it. Oh, and I think probably that's why. I don't know. I don't want to judge him negatively, but I think that's probably why Nick Briggs friend of mine. And again, I'm not bitching about it. I mean, I guess it caused them some grief, which is, you know, fair enough. But man, it was a big mistake for us to moralize our political differences. A giant mistake. So there's only one real solution to that mistake. And what is that solution? Vote, 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 Rabbi. Yes, let me be emperor of the universe and everything will be better. Listen, I will make everything from Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who onwards decanonized, right? I will get Doctor Who working and I'll get Star Trek working and I will get Star Wars working again. I'm not going to save the MCU because I don't give a shit, right? Frankly, we had a good time and now it's over. Leave me alone. Maybe we'll work. So maybe we'll do a Fantastic Four. But I will get all this working for you, ladies and gentlemen. But right in. If you haven't voted it, right in. Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet, should be not just prime minister, but emperor of the world. So I do like this where he got... see, this is designed to enrage toxic fandom, right? And firstly, Nigel Farage, I go, evil, racist, Hitler, Nazi, I mean, again, toxic fandom, they believe shit like that completely because they're morons, right? So that's the first trick. Then, the attractive women there. We'll get back to you in a second. We're attractive women in there that are sexualized. They're making my knickers feel tight. Why is my knickers feeling tight? I don't want my knickers to feel tight. Trans women are women. Trans women are women. And then they'll notice that Nicola Bryant, their face swaps of Nicola Bryant, Millie goes, Millie Gibson, she's 19 a year ago. If you turn the 9 upside down, it's 16. You paedophile pervert. This is literally how their minds work, right? So this is designed to And now that they're agreeing with Nigel Farage, that's like, then at that point their head explodes. I fully endorse the rabbi. The rabbi, that evil person, as world emperor. Endorse my no. Oh, me too. Says I guess it'll be Perry because she's wearing Stars and Stripes, right? And he says, again, they would never agree with you. Really? You think? I don't know. Anyway, the road to this pairing, which I gave you a quick preview of, was a long and windy one, right? A long and windy one. Firstly, I was going to have them both be British, right? And so that was the British pair. I think that came out very well. But when you see it again, that merely absolutely excellent, right? I am very happy with how that came out. But so with that, I went for the American version, it being Independence Day. And this was when I was still doing a British Perry. I don't know how that gets any better, right? You have super hot Nicola Bryant in sexy lingerie with a British motif holding 2 beers. Good God. I've come 3 times just looking at this. I'm an old man. Those things happen. But it's talking about triggering toxic fandom. Look at what the video I'm putting out tomorrow. Donald Trump soars as Joe Biden and the Democrats implode, creating so many bonkers and hilarious meltdowns. They are both bonkers and they are hilarious. Yes, Indy, fine. I meant to get to the reviews 15 minutes ago. What am I going to do I don't know now. Okay, we'll do Dark Gallifrey first because I like Dark Gallifrey. I just finished listening to it and I was suitably impressed with it. Fine, let me pull that up. 1 second. Okay, girls, we'll be back soon. Oh, thank you, Rabbi. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm here for you. Right? No problem. Doink. Dark Gallifrey. What's Dark Gallifrey about? I don't really know. They haven't really been clear about it yet. The first, it's like a 24-part story, which is it was supposed to be 8 box sets, right? 8 3-part box sets. But clearly, the coffers are not as good for Doctor Who fandom anymore. And so putting out $11 a month is easier than like $30 or $30 or $40 every couple of months, right? So we just had the first box set, which is I got the first one. I was very disappointed in. It was Morbius, right? It was about Morbius. So Sam West playing Morbius, who was pretty darn good, I have to say. I was impressed with his take. He was also in the Paul McGann. I think it's in, they just came out recently. They put out the 2nd season, which is really worth getting. So, and it was like this really strange story set in like prehistory, just after Morbius's rebellion and civil war in Gallifrey, and you got like hear about hints of it, but it's all over. And Morbius has been banished, destroyed, gone away, and so it was this weird sailing ship through time, who were coming back from Karn, I think, and being invited back to Gallifrey. They were like ex-prisoners or something along those lines. So you had that going on, and then there was Morbius as an ethereal force. He still has a lot of followers. And, you get into a lot about how Morbius is a populist, right? And, oh, yeah, how terrible. I don't understand why it's a bad thing to have popular policies that people like as opposed to unpopular policies that people don't like. Like, I don't get why being a populist is a bad thing. It's because people say are elitist. No, excuse me. If you want the barometer of right or wrong or anything, you go to the working classes, right? The working classes are always right? They are way smarter than the elitist cunts in London ever imagine. And they're always right? They can always smell a wrong and they can always smell a right. I just hope that the reform dominating in social media equals reform doing very well, right? I hope they at least beat the Tories. But by the way, if you're watching this in the future, this is election day. I'm recording this on. I hope they at least beat the Tories. But again, I'm always disappointed by these things, right? Always. Anyway, but I wasn't disappointed by this. So, Dark Gallifrey is kind of like a alternate reality Gallifrey, and so Morbius was in the first episode. And the story kind of like built in the second. And by the time you got the third, you had Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor face off against this Morbius. And that was brilliant, right? It really built into a great crescendo. And so I can see much more. These things are designed to be 3-part stories, which I'm really, which gives it, you get a much more meaty story with it, right? Is it essential for listening? No, not at all. Not at all. But I found it interesting listening, right? This one I found much better. This is the War Master. The biggest flaw with this one, no War Master. It's not Derek Jacobi, not in this at all, right? Not in this at all. This should have really been called Bernie Summerfield rather than the War Master, because it's all about her. Essentially, if you listen to any of the range of Bernie Summerfield with David Warner's alternate Third Doctor, right? He first appeared in an excellent series they did called Unbound, where it was like alternate doctors, and it had Jeffrey Belden as the first Doctor who never left Gallifrey, and then they brought him back for another one, and you had this was an alternate third Doctor that arrived in 97 as opposed to 77, and David Tennant was in it as an evil unit corporal, captain, command. I can't remember, right? I can't remember. He was like the evil version of the Brigadier. So they did another one, and then they brought him back. And the interesting thing is he's Bernie Summerfield's companion rather than Bernie's is his companion. Because again, I've been listening to Big Finish since they started, right? And so when they started when they first came out with the Bernie Summerfield reign, I got it straight away because I thought, oh, I bet this is an audition piece for Doctor Who, and I was absolutely right? So. And it developed its own identity, and it's a very strong identity, right? I really like the Bernie Summerfield range. If you want to get into it, the early ones are really, really the best, right? When it's set in the Braxitel collection. Anyway, and the second best, I think, is this range here, where she joins up with this alternate Third Doctor. Played by the late great David Warner, and apparently they ended up as a couple of after doing this. So he always plays it as a kind of hung over Hartnell, and I like his take on it. And this must be the last time we're hearing him, right? I was very disappointed with his appearance in what was that one, Once and Future. I thought that was a weaker story, and I do get the feeling this was written to be all about him, but he probably passed away after making this. And he didn't do the second one, so they maybe turned it to War Master. Although they said not, though. They said in the making of it was always a War Master thing, right? And it was intended to be it's a three-part story. So what I very much enjoyed about this, right? I really, really enjoyed about it. It's told in a very non-linear fashion. Essentially, Bernie Summerfield wants to make this great discovery of Dark Gallifrey, right? And when she gets and by getting there is something unleashed, some evil unleashed. But because we're dealing with time issues, everything's out of order, right? They start at the end and then they go towards the beginning, and then they jump around in time. No scene follows chronologically from the other one, right? And I understand that some people will find that very annoying. It's exactly the same with Creatures of Beauty. I found it a riveting and genuinely interesting listen. I said I was cleaning the floor, and I was like hooked for the whole thing. Right? I so rarely get that from a Big Finish release nowadays. I was because there's such great character work in it. There's this point where this thing called the Abomination, which is the baddie in it. Right? Not that you really see it that much, but it's showing Bernice all these different things. They're showing them all the different deaths of Ace, right? She had this wonderful monologue about Ace. It was they mentioned Greta Thunberg. I'm like, oh, fuck off, right? Can you just not do it? But if that's the height of the wokeness, I mean, for goodness sake, who is it? James Gosmate? Greta Thunberg is a very awkward, mentally ill young lady, right? Who talks shit, and if we did what she said, we'll all die. Right. Other than that, she's great. Don't get me wrong. But that was the only bit of wokeness in it, from my impression. But instead, you got like just great character moment after great character moment. David Warner's performance is excellent. But again, absolutely no War Master in it whatsoever. If you're going in expecting a War Master, you're not going to get one, right? You're not going to get one. He turns up in the next one, but probably at the end would be my guess. But also in the next one, they got what's his name? From Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Spike from Buffy was also in Torchwood, playing Captain John Hart. So let's see what they say. Many have sought the legendary Dark Gallifrey over the millennia, but most have been lucky enough to fail. There's another really interesting how you got the David Warner Doctor manipulating manipulating Bernie Summerfield to go to this Dark Gallifrey place, even though he knows it's a terrible idea. In very much the same way that Patrick Troughton's Doctor manipulated the logic people to open the Tomb of the Cybermen. I thought that was really, really excellent. There is another who has his eyes on the glittering prize, however. One who knows such power could be one in such matter. The Master himself. Well, he hasn't shown up yet. Intrigued by rumors of hidden Gallifrey, the Dark Gallifrey of Time World myth, Bernie Summers resolves to find it. And again, that's about halfway through it. At the end, they're running from it, right? But I thought it was excellent. But as the Doctor points out, some things should never be found, and some doors should never be opened, especially ones that want to be open. Yes, exactly. So again, you might hate it, right? It's completely not non-linear. I can understand that being very frustrating and annoying. I found that very interesting and engaging, right? I like that a lot. So Derek Jacobi turns up in the next part with what's his name? Spike? What's his name? James Masters. All right, and I'm intrigued to see where the story's going. So an interesting tidbit about it, though, is they said that this was actually a coda meant to go at the end of Dark Gallifrey rather than the second release in it, which I found very interesting. Again, I like the non-linear nature of the storytelling. I think it's really, really exciting and interesting. So look, for me, it's a recommend. Much better covers than the Morbius. The Morbius covers were like shockingly bad, right? Shockingly bad. And then you get Jonathan Carley as the War Doctor turns up in the last part. I'm okay. Look, I'm intrigued to see how they're going to bring in Derek Jacobi. I'm going to try and work out if he really was supposed to be if David Warner was supposed to be the lead in it, or not, right? I should be able to work it out. I don't know. But for me, I found this a real recommend, right? Very interesting, very, very engaging. And look, I should download this because I didn't get Operation Werewolf. But honestly, that story is the one that also, and it just never really appealed to me. But there's a lot good coming out this month. Torchwood Soho. I mean, look, I'm not really into. I dropped the Torchwood range years and years ago, but I like that they're taking it in a completely different direction that's almost totally unrelated to Torchwood right now. More Second Doctor adventures going to see a Raven. So I got inside word that they're doing two Second Doctor releases a year now. So is that Second Doctor release also? Is that Death World? Because that's also coming out. And this is the Mara. It does look like the Mara, right? And then there's Goth Opera. Again, Torchwood, I don't know. I'm not really into it. But there's so look, that's a solid month for me with Big Finish. And also, next thing, I hope to listen to tomorrow. I want to re-listen to the first two parts of season 14 by Alex Leave. And maybe do a review on Saturday night. Oh, we're going to talk about the Neil Gaiman story. Neil Gaiman, it's incredible. Whenever somebody virtue signals to death, that normally means they're covering up for something. And that seems to be exactly what happened with Neil Gaiman. Should we do the chat next, or should we do Celestial Toymaker next? I think. Look. Let's get to the chat. I'm getting a bit paranoid. We're getting way too far behind, and the chat's just going to grow and grow and grow, baby. So let's pull up the something like candy. Share screen. So we got one review done, but again, I'm surprised how much I liked it. I really am surprised how much I liked it. Right? I do like this thumbnail. And, by the way, vote, Rabbi. Election in the Independence Day special. Actually, it's not special at all. Just the same old bollocks taking the piss out of the batshit crazy, batshit insanity that is current day Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, and all genre media. Probably all media, darling, all media. Fine, let's get a chat. Oh, just notice here. We wish you all Well, wish us luck here in the UK. Wish us here in the UK. I can see all the words. I just haven't strung them together yet. Well, wish us here in the UK luck. Well, dude, I pray, right? Just pray that you get a miracle. And believe me, if Farage wins, it's a miracle. Just pray you get a miracle. Because I don't care if you believe in God or not, right? That might just tip things over in your direction. I don't know. By the way, I've got to tell you, we'll get more into chat in a minute. Last night, I was kidnapped into hell. Oh my God! So my son, I said he was home, right? And so he's getting married in late August. If you're in Israel in late August, let me know. I'll work out. So for you to come. So we went to the wedding hall, and because you have to sample all the different food and decide what you want on the menu. Boy, did that go on for it. And it was also really weird because it was in the middle of they had a wedding going on at the time. And so you have and it was a super religious but Sephardi wedding, right? Sephardi is Eastern Jews, right? So they're like, and so I poke my head out to see what's going on at one point. And like, I hear them like doing the blessings of the wedding. It's like, and that's literally what it sounded like. Don't get me wrong. It's really genuinely what it sounded like. But so they kept bringing out all this food. The salmon was excellent, right? Absolutely freaking excellent. But I mean, it just took forever, right? It took freaking. We didn't get home till midnight. I was like, "Hey, no, make this end." Fine. So I survived the hell of having to eat a lot of food. Anyway, where are we up to? Darren M. And this is Darren M. Darren M, how you doing? Greetings and felicitations. How are you, sir? PD Richards here. Doing PD Rich. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, PD mate. I have no idea what you're waking up to in the morning. Probably the shittest government of all time, right? You would have been better had you voted Rabbi. But we had good news this week. Biden's probably going to resign on Monday, and Mr. Trump is getting sued. Oh yes, I forgot about that. Oh, that's so great, isn't it? I mean, like, again, this is what I'm saying about the death of Satan. He can't protect his guys anymore, right? We'll have to see what happens. I mean, look, I would say you're more in line for a miracle than not right now, but we'll wait and see. Colin says, Happy Independence Day to us. Sadly, I think it's a reverse here. I was going to have Nigel Farage saying, Happy Independence Day, and who knows, it might be Independence Day for us as well, but I thought that was just too optimistic, right? I couldn't get myself to do it, right? Fly Highlanders here. Eki Indelection Day. The Indelection Day, everybody. I don't know what Indelection means, but you do too much, you will go blind. Paul Dozens here. It can't be worse. It'll be worse after tomorrow. Again, unless Farage actually wins, right? Matthew Burrows just ordered pre-ordered season 25. It looks awesome. Honestly, it's one of my favorite seasons of all time, and it's one of the best packages. We are certainly going to go through that with a fine-tooth comb, right? I am really looking forward to talking about that. Where are we up to? Look at the bright side. It'll be a pandering progressive leader in a Western world full of right-wing leaders. I guess he'll throw in the towel within 6 months to 2 years. I don't see him making it all the way through. By the way, assuming Biden is going to resign, I mean, I think he's going to resign the presidency. That seems to be what the deal is. I don't know. And then you can get President Kamala, and I think then we're going to get World War III, right? I think Russia and China are going to say, well, look, we've got to deal with Trump after, from November onwards, right? While there's a chance he won't win, right? I think we better strike now and change the board, right? And that's what I think is going to initiate World War III, an apocalypse, and a messy in a cage, right? But we'll have to wait and see. Who knows, baby? Who knows? Fine, whizzing through the chat. Who we got here? Soda Engines. Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss the Soda Engine? Yeah. Soda Engines normally gets... Oh, yeah. Yes, it's time to be stunning and brave and vote for your new leaders. It's a stunning and brave lady like me. Oh, Icky Thump. Oh, really? Who? There's no... They're all blokes, aren't they? Keir Starmer, Rishi Sunak. I mean, I guess Suella Braverman is hanging around to take over the Tories, right? That's what I would guess is her, because look, the Tories are basically divided between woke fucks and I don't know, people who are slightly less woke, like sort of Braveman, right? Slightly less woke fucks. So yeah. Let's look. Fine, let's go back to the chat where I'm still at the chat. Fly Hannah, Rabbi, you were referencing a news article in a video, and I watched this morning about Nick Briggs' report. Yeah, well, we talked about that already. That he had to delete. I don't think he had to delete it. I think he chose to, didn't he? I don't know. He deleted it and unfriended me. So that doesn't view well, right? QQ derailment one. There's a lot of them about, right? There's a lot of them about. Fine, let's see if I got any. Let me whiz through the chat. Every attack on Nigeria makes him like me like more. Yes, it's like Trump. Yes, I agree with you. Joseph is here. How you doing, Joseph? Thank you for joining us. And Lonnie, I'm Comics is how you doing, Lonnie? Thank you for joining us. Tyler Simon here. Voter reform. Vote reform. Always. If you can't vote, Rabbi, vote reform. Right? That's what I say. Fine. Okay. I'm trying to. RJ is here. Happy Independence Day. I hope everyone is doing well. Freedom! Hashtag freedom. Man, that might be coming to America, but we'll have to wait and see. Old review. Tzvi Lebetkin, Starmer will be a left-wing liberal in a Western world full of right-wing PMs and presidents. I know. It's going to be even more ineffectual than... I mean, I love that Europe's being decimated right now by the right. Oh, thank God. I mean, like, these woke morons have just destroyed reality. Karney makes a very good point. He says they can't stand being caught being wrong. That's true, right? Resource outsourced vetting to hope not hate, which says a lot. Well, listen, I think everything is defined by the management, right? Everything is defined. Hey, you know what? Let's do a little segue into another review, right? Let's do a little segue to everything is defined by the management. As we see here from the story, The Image of Fandom, which, again, my review of it from season 14 got totally derailed because of Shooting Gatwa's shitty, relentless crime piece of shit season. Hang on, I'm just getting a little booklet that came with it. There we go, so we can go over it. So, Image of Fandom, right? I've never been a massive fan of this story, right? I saw it, I went, fair, right? I haven't seen it for, I don't know, a long time. It might be 20 years, right? I haven't seen it for a long, long time. And so watching it again, which is something I like about this the Blu-ray collection range, is you get to reevaluate it at this stage you are in life. And I'm able to analyze it a lot better. And honestly, you can see Graham Williams is not a drama or sci-fi producer through the story, right? It was the direction of the direction really killed it. And I think it probably had it's hard to tell as well, but I think it had a script that would be as strong as Face of Evil or Pyramids of Mars. A strong, interesting script. And this time it was like very much riffing on like Quatermass and the Pit, that sort of thing. Great performance. But okay, let me open up a Wikipedia about it. Image of Fandom, because the director is completely inappropriate for it. He's got this weird career of doing like light entertainment, directed by George Spenton Foster, right? And he's got, again, it was just wildly inappropriate to do this. He did Rebus Operation as well. Okay, Rebus Operation was great. Maybe he was just working out what to do. Right, maybe it was just working out what to do. And he also directed Blake 7, Weapon, Pressure Point, Voice from Bastard, Gambit. They're all my favorite Blake 7 episodes. I'm talking shit, right? I'm talking shit. He's a great director. I am talking absolute shit. I was completely wrong. So this is one where he learned how to direct, obviously. Okay. So it's an interesting cast. It's got Dennis Lill is other than Tom Bacon and Louise James, he's the there's a chief. The basic plot is there's a scientist who has uncovered this impossibly old skull, and they're scanning it, and it's going to release this primordial ancient entity, Fender, right? As played by Wanda Bentham, looking surprisingly hot, right? But again, the representation of Wanda Benton, it's as Fandom, right, is another issue of the story because she's got eyes painted over her eyes. So is that supposed to be decoration? Like, is it supposed to be eyes painted over? Are they supposed to be eyes? I can't tell, right? I can't tell. And again, the direction is just weird. Right? It's just really, really strange. It's very, very Quatermassy in that as it feels Quatermassy cross Lovecraftian, as it feels unintelligible because it's so outside the realm of human consciousness, right? So that's and you got that great little what's the word? Tension going on, right? So the chief scientist is Dennis Lill, and you have who is it? I think this is it Jeffrey Hinsliff? He's like a rather I think this is him, right? He's a very cool scientist, right? He feels like the bloke from the coffee commercial, from the Anthony Stewart Head in the coffee commercial. He's very right, the guy from 40 Towers, who turned out to be a policeman, right? Pretentious. What? If you're English, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That guy. So he's very slick and fun. But basically, don't get emotionally attached to any character in the story because they all die, right? They all die rather strangely. And I say the monster realization was also really weak. So here's a character option release of this monster, which I didn't buy because it doesn't look very good, right? I mean, you have like the little thing, and again, I put this down to Graham Williams' inexperience making Doctor Who, right? I put it almost totally down to it. Graham Williams' only real positive addition to the story was giving Louise Jameson a new, somewhat sexier outfit, right? And that was really it. Lou Jameson and Tom Baker are, of course, always superb, right? They are always superb. And again, we have Wanda Benton. What's Wanda Benton famous for? I'm trying to remember. Hang on. Doink. Like, kind of for that. But again, you see how she got her eyes painted on. This is where she's transformed to Fandom. And so the story is kind of like clunky, and it like goes along in a strange It's this kind of strange meandering way. Oh wow, she's the mother of Benedict Cumberbatch. I did not know that, right? I probably knew that before. But what she's famous for? She was in UFO, okay. She played Pamela Parry in Only Fools and Horses. I don't know who Pamela Parry is. She was in The Sweeney. Okay, she was a jobbing actor. The Sweeney, The Saint. Well, I wonder if that was Ian Ogilvy. I might guess it'll be Ian Ogilvy over Roger Moore. Gentle Touch, Mind. What was her big thing that she was known for? Carried Up the Khyber. I love Carried Up the Khyber. She's in The Prisoner as well, right? Who was it? She was in the episode Danger Man. Oh, sorry, no. And then she was the Prisoner. Anyway, so Wanda Benton. She was very good in this, quite frankly. She was very good, very, very sexy, I found as well. But again, the direction of the whole thing is just very flat, right? Very flat. It's a really fascinating view of TV from 1970. What was it? 76, right? And that's a lot of what season 14 is. You see, like, people just making this as their job. They get assigned a story and they do it. And you feel when Philip Hinchcliffe was running it, that he had a more of a stronger hand directing people. So anyway, let me have a look and see what else is on this. He had an audio commentary that's ported over from the DVD with Tom Baker, Lou Jameson, Wanda Benton, and Arthur Edward. Maybe Arthur Edward was at him. No, he was one of the young gamekeeper boy, I think. Making of documentary, again, kind of standard. Infotext, never look at it. Delete and extended scene, man. It was pretty rough watching the stuff they put in this, let alone the stuff they cut out. Leave me alone. It's like watching Andor. Andor is a show almost entirely made from deleted scenes. Horror featurette. The influence of horror films on Doctor Who, that's also ported over from DVD. That was actually pretty good, right? behind the sofa really liked this story. They were like, "Whoa!" And it must be showing the highlights, right? The best extra on this is the Emu Broadcast Company. Do I have this? Do I have it on my? I think I have this on my hard drive. Let's have a look. I'm telling you, I love this extra. Where is it? Doink. Putting up Doctor Who, the TARDIS. Doink. 1503, I believe. 1403 was Deadly Assassin. How times have changed. Image of Fandom. Talk 3 here we go. I love this extra. We're not going to watch the whole thing, it's too long. Now, if you're not English, you don't know who Emu was. Emu was awesome, right? Emu was this massive glove puppet held by this guy called Rod Hull, who was famous for attacking people as interviewing, most famous for who was it? Michael Aspel. So now it became slightly more kiddie. But I just really like this. Rod Hull is so good with this thing. Like, he's really able to sell it and give it life. But that is actually my favorite extra. Genuinely is. So they got that on there. Trials Continue, Evil Broadcast Company coming soon, and photos. So look, this disc is not filled with great stuff. Let me tell you, it's okay. But it's look, if this was on this, I would buy it because I'm a completist. But like, it's great as the season 15 box set, right? I love these box sets; they are just fantastic. So, it's a story I recommend for somebody who's very interested in classic Doctor Who, which I am, and classic television of the 1970s, which I am. I think it's a wonderful era of TV. And the influences are very, very obvious. There's a Quatermass, Lovecraft, and those influences very much work as well, right? I don't know when I'm going to be going back to this, but it's not never, right? I mean, unless, you know, I die tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going, but it's way before anything from Shooty or Jodie, right? Fine with that. So fine, 2 reviews down. Look at me catching up. Oh, look, there you go. Come back, Nigel. Always forgiven. Where we are. Joe Swift said, problem being is here, don't probs. Thank you for joining us. Probs, who are you voting for? Ready for totalitarian overlords to take over? Well, I'm fine because I live in Israel. Move to Israel. Right, I'll say that the other day to somebody else. Said, look, the weather's great, the economy's fantastic. Okay, yeah, we do have a war going on and surrounded by people who want to kill us. Other than that, it's better in every bloody way, right? Tzvi Lebetkin has got an answer. Do you need to listen to the whole set, or can I jump in at David Warner? You can jump in at the David Warner story. Fine, now you totally derailed me. Okay, you totally derailed me. Yeah, wait. We'll have to do a bit of David Warner at Big Finish. And I think this is a very fair derailment, quite frankly. So we'll do arranged by oldest first. Always the way to go. Yeah, so Unbound, 381, dude. This is worth 381. Okay, it is really worth 381. This is actually quite a good Bernie Summerfield story. 631 as well. Circular times, but I'm not sure what character he plays, but it's where he plays Mycroft Holmes. That's excellent. I really like that one. I didn't know he's in Empathy Games. So then they brought him back as a doctor again over in Master of War. This is 381. This is a 2-box. This is a 2-disc set. The other one's a 1-disc. Dark Shadows, don't really listen to. Graceless, Scarifiers, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. When did he come back as a doctor? It was a while, right? He played a villain to the Fourth Doctor for quite some time. Where are they? Oh, fine. Was this the first one, or was this the? I think this was the first one. Hang on. Right. So this one, it also had Mark Gatiss as a master. Oh, folks. So the one beforehand was Seventh Doctor and Sutek. Completely forgettable, sadly. Right. Completely. So this one kind of sets up $31. Ridiculous. No, I can't recommend that. I mean, it's basically like Bernie Sanders gets caught in a parallel universe with the David Warner Doctor, and this is them kind of escaping that universe again. 31.86 it's ridiculous, right? But it's not worth that. I'll be frank, and they're not bad stories at all. And again, what I like about it, it's feminine because the Bernie Sanders range in general is feminine. And by the way, I do like how they got the Mark Gatiss is used. This is a anagram of Sam Kisgart. So both of those are pretty good, but they get better as they go along, right? This was again, these feel like standard Bernie Sanders stories, which I hadn't heard for about 10, 15 years. They kind of like went off in a meandering direction. And again, him being the companion really does work, right? Really does work. So this was, again, it's a very cerebral, quiet story that ends up, don't think it's all set on Gallifrey, ends up on Gallifrey. Essentially, he's put on trial for existing because he's from a different universe. And I think my favorite one, right, is, what's this one? No, not this. Is this one. I really love this one. Again, for 38, will you piss off? No way. There's no way anyone. It's ridiculous. But what I love about this Blood and Steel, it's set in 1930s Germany with the march to the Third Reich, the Nazis, and it's a Sidemen story and how the Sidemen ethos really reflect that. So yeah, but it's ridiculous. I'm not in good conscience. Can I? If you want a David Warner story, may I recommend this is the one to go for, right? If you don't mind the non-linear storytelling, if you don't like non-linear storytelling, you will hate it. But if you don't mind non-linear storytelling, it's I thought it was pretty darn good, right? Problem says, as does Aurak. What does Aurak do? Aurak just does good things, baby. Aurak just does good things. By the way, I finally worked out. Okay, I'm not sure I spoke about this before. Who would play Blake? Because somebody commented that my casting of Tom Hardy as Blake or Christian Bale, they're too hard men, right? They're too broad. Blake was a bit of a single-minded dick. Now, who could really, and is Welsh. So who is the perfect casting for that? It's what's it called again? The lovey friend of David Tennant. It's stage starred who was it? Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen would be, I think he will be able to do a good Blake, right? I think he will do that like irritating evangelical freedom fighter that nobody really likes quite well, right? I think that'd be great. So is it Martin Sheen, David Sheen? Which Sheen is it again? It's Michael Sheen, right? Michael Sheen as Blake, Mads Mikkelsen as Avon, Joseph Gilgan as Villa, Steven what's he called again? Steven from This Is England. This is England. Is Stephen Graham as Gan, right? Stephen Graham as Gan. Emilia Clarke as Jenna. I think Emilia Clarke is perfect as Jenna, right? I think she'll be a great. And I can't remember who we thought of for Callie. At Sutherland, I'm still unsatisfactorily stuck with what's her name? Monica Baccarin, the woman from V and Firefly, a whole bunch of stuff, right? But again, I like Michael Sheen as Blake, right? I think that kind of works. And you could get real antagonism between him and Max Mikkelsen very well, right? Fine. Let's get back to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to the chat. Yeah, things are going to get so much worse in England. Best we can hope for, if he gets a sweeping victory, he can afford to put the radical left in their place. I don't think he's going to. He just seems like a moron to me. He really does. He was like a dull moron. But generally speaking, the good thing about Jeremy Corbyn is he gave Labour a bit of character. It's just been bland upon bland upon bland upon bland upon bland upon bland, right? The proceed from Truth Social. I can't. It's not letting me click on it. I really got to. If I have to go to the stream and comment on it, which lets me interact with the chat, fine. Otis Slider said hello to you. Matthew Burrows, problem being... Kronos Godwin is here. Quater Mass, Quater Craft, Quater Universal, Quater Hammer. Well, yeah, you have a bunch of them. Look, my go-to Quater Mass is the movie version of Quatermass and the Pit. I love that version, right? That's one of my all-time favorites. Conrad said, Wanda Benton was the other second in command in UFO. Oh, was she wearing like the really tight sweater top? Because that was pretty nice. Mark Lewis is here. Pamela Parry was Cassandra's mother in Only Fools. Oh, really? Oh, there you go. I didn't know. Cassandra was who Rodney ended up with, wasn't it? They played Sherlock Holmes in the case of art imitating life. Was that an episode of Sherlock? I don't know. I'll look it up. Also, Dennis Lill was in Only Fools and was playing Cassandra's father, Alan. Really? I didn't know that. It was Parkinson, that emu. Parkinson, yes. Michael Astley, yeah, Parkinson, and it was great. It was fantastic. Christy says vote reform, and Christy, do I agree with you, darling? Do I agree with you? Yes, is the answer. Dr. Alex is here. It's Dr. Alex's birthday. Please, everybody. It's Dr. Alex's birthday. Head over to Dr. Alex's channel. Enjoy his season 14. And you know what? Give him a birthday present. Go and buy. You can buy his books on Audible? I think they're on. They're on a bunch of different platforms. You can buy them in print. They're fantastic. They are more real Doctor. It is the most authentic Doctor Who. That's post Capaldi Doctor Who that I've seen, that I've experienced, I should say, since Capaldi left. It's fantastic, right? I really recommend it. Go and check it out, right? Go and check. Happy birthday, Dr. Alex. I hope you're doing well. Fine. Where shall we start? That's caught up with the chat. Can we look at Celestial Toymaker? Yeah. So the very controversial Celestial Toymaker release came out. Now, it's very controversial. Yeah, well, let me pull up some details about what's on this Celestial Toymaker DVD release. Not date, DVD release, and then it will tell me what's on it. Right? You can look at Amazon, I guess. Wikipedia, BBC, Who site. I'll go to Blu-ray. Celestial Toymaker. Yeah, we'll go to the Who Blu-ray.com. That should tell you what stuff's on there. Fine. This is actually a good place to review it from. So this is a very controversial release in that it doesn't even try to emulate the look of the original, right? It doesn't even come close to it. And I would say normally I'm very much against that sort of thing, right? I don't really see the point. Go and check out Callum Weston's excellent animation of Celestial Toymaker. But the thing is, with this story, because it deals with the nature of reality, right, and it deals with things being out of the normal, strange, it works. I think the animation works, and I watch it in color on big screen. And normally these things I only watch the black and white version, but because this is a completely new interpretation of it, I really feel it works. But again, if you're somebody who wants to recreate the original, it's not that at all, right? It's not. In fact, again, here, let me pull up the Callum Weston one so you can see. In fact, let's compare Callum Weston's one with how this new version did it, right? Which is chalk and cheese, right? It's absolutely chalk and cheese. But again, for me, this told the story. I was able to appreciate and enjoy the story. This is actually something that the reason why I'm not really enamored with the the AI motion telesnap recreation by Ian Levine, because, and don't get me wrong, I'm like so happy he's doing them. I think it's fantastic they're doing it, and I got so much respect for him. But for me, it doesn't track as a story, right? They're basically moving stills, and it doesn't. It throws me off. I'd rather listen to the audio, right? It's just it's kind of, it's like a motion telesnap, is how I would describe it. Whereas, like this Callum Weston version is just perfect, right? It's absolutely freaking perfect. So yeah, let me so we'll compare and contrast. Hang on 1 second.
Following is number.
Wait. I got a message. I need to. Wrong one. Doink, which I spelt wrong, but I'm sure they're on some of it. Fine. So let's start with again. I see this one's in color, but it totally works, right? It's such
vanished.
What? Oh, nonsense, child. Nonsense.
You have.
So again, for me, it just feels exactly like I'm watching a rather good reproduction of the original one. Right? Directed very well, right? And like a lot of it's in blackness, so it really quite works. But you have like the games they play. It's the only time I can imagine. Oh, it's not on this set file. It's on the next one. But yeah,
I could only see your face with that hand.
I mean, I just think this is beautiful, right? I think this is absolutely beautiful. So let's contrast that with the official BBC one again. And people hate it. People are really mad because it's not trying to recreate the original at all, right? It's really not trying to recreate it. And where is it? Black and white. No, here we go. One, the color. Here we go. And I think this is trying to tap into that new mythical audience that doesn't exist. Oh, this was actually a very good version in the Callum Weston one, right? But here. And you have the doctor goes invisible at the beginning.
For once. Might be worse, my dear.
And it's not. Would they have realized that at the time? I don't know. But yeah, he's got some kind of. And I don't like they have the TARDIS in green, right? I think it was green because they meant it to look like it was gold and white. So here, so you have this thing where the Toymaker first turns up, and it's like completely different than you would ever see. But frankly, I liked it. Here, let me show you.
Your inventions. Now, both of you be very careful. This place is a...
this is it.
I might have guessed. Of course. I've been waiting for you a long time.
So again, any other story, I would not be on board for this at all, right? I would not be on board at all. But this one, I think it actually really genuinely works, right? I think it works just it tells the story to me. Now, that's just one man's opinion, baby. One man's opinion. And I will say one man who is a little bit bonkers, a little bit preoccupied by boobs, but listen, I can't deny who I am, baby. I can't deny who I am. It's probably better to counterbalance that, right? Counterbalance that with a weightier mind, and a more piercing, intensely, analytical mind. Sadly, I couldn't find anyone. So I scraped the bottom and barrel. I found myself in Birmingham. Here's Birmingham's King of the Geeks. It's Dan Hadley. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, and I am also obsessed with boobs as well.
Well, there you go.
Sorry to disappoint everybody.
Well, it's so only good. Have you seen this yet?
I haven't. No, it was delivered about a fortnight ago, and it's open. It's on my shelf. It's right in front of my television, waiting to be enjoyed. But no, I haven't. I haven't seen it yet. Have you?
Yes. Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Yes, I did enjoy it. Right, I did because it tells the story. So the way I think I would watch the Celestial Toymaker in the future.
Yes.
I would watch Callum Weston's version for episode 1. I would watch maybe a Ian Levine telesnap AI version for episode 2. I would watch this version for episode. Oh, maybe I'll watch the color version for episode 2, the black and white version for episode 3, and the original screen version. Because it's all dealing with like the unreality of reality. So for this story, it works very well. It comes bundled with extras. Let's have a quick look, see what's on it. Yeah, doink, we go. Yeah.
In my view, it's a pretty ghastly story. Well, at least is the versions I've consumed it in before. So I'm open to be seduced by a new version of it, but I wasn't. So I bought it for completion's sake, really, and because I want to support the range. And I don't. But largely, I do agree with Ian Levine about it.
Right. I mean, look. Here's you can contrast the color version with the black and white. And I don't even see the point of looking at the black and white version because it's nothing like the original.
No.
By the way, the Callum Western version did seduce me into this story because it's so beautiful. Right. It's not just tells a story. It's literally beautiful. It looks fantastic, and it's got a real sensitivity to it, right?
I think Callum's got a feel for story in a way that this team have got a far more slackened grip on.
Yes, I agree with you. So the extras include you get it in color and you get it in black and white. I haven't listened to the commentary yet. It's round robin with Peter Purvis, Dudley Darby, the camera. Who gives a shit? Delia Linden, okay, Sylvia James, and David Devjack. You know, you've all produced the animated version. I would be interested to listen to that. I will be interested.
It is interesting what they're doing. You know, this is where I do differ from Ian. I am interested in what they're doing in principle. And I've spoken to Gary Russell. I found him a really nice fella who doesn't take himself as seriously as some would have you believe. But this line of product, if this is going to continue now in this spirit, this is a different line of product to the one that I started buying all those years ago. And when it's like you get committed to a line of things. If I'm going to buy one of these, I'm in it for the long haul. If they'd have started this range doing this, I probably wouldn't have supported it. Not that I don't want them doing it if there's an audience there, but I'm not necessarily the audience. I would rather have a recon.
I can't imagine going to doing this type of reconstruction, rebuild, whatever, with a any other story. Any other, it would fail so incredibly hard, right? It just wouldn't work at all. But this one, I felt it did quite work. So the other extras include the escape room first Doctor. This is a range that's going to carry on into the Blu-ray range, but it's not on the next, which we're going to talk about next. Which, oh boy, are you excited for season 25?
I only found out about it like 90 minutes ago because I've had quite a busy day. Yes. Well, yes, I am. I'm excited about all of these because I do buy them all and then I sort of dip in and dip out of them. I'm going to buy them all, whatever. I do love most of Doctor Who. There's very little I don't. Sincerely, there's very little.
You love a lot more. You like you just like the Shooting Atlas season. You liked his take on it. I liked more than I didn't. You know, I'm an optimistic person by nature, so I tend to focus more on the things that I did enjoy than the things that I didn't. And so I'd say in my case, it was probably the stuff I liked versus the stuff that I didn't. The stuff I liked, we're at about 60, 65%, and the rest is stuff I didn't like. So I like 2/3 of it. That's probably about right. I probably like. I'm still trying to work out what I prefer a bit more. Like Flux. I mean, Jodie Whittaker's first 2 seasons are unwatchably bad. But I think, is there more stuff I liked in Flux than I liked in... Because it's hard to tell, because Jodie Whittaker's performance is so epically awful. It just kind of like blinds everything else out. You can't really see it.
It does. It's like a blinding light. And you can fool yourself in some episodes of particularly Flux, because I do know what you mean. For 10 minutes, you can fool yourself that you're not watching it. And then she appears. It's like, oh, God, no.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. It always derails it. God bless her. Anyway, so this extra is the escape room. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. That's long. It's unintentionally hilarious effort on the part of an undeniably elderly trio from the first Doctor's tenure. Who is it? It's Peter Purvis, Maureen O'Brien, Lisa Bauman. Okay, why's Lisa Bauman in it? Okay. I guess that they wanted a young person. She's in her 60s, isn't she? She's a youthful 60 though. From what I've seen, I've never met Lisa, but apparently she's really cool. I'm sure she's cool. She's incredibly talented, right? She directed a version of War of the Worlds on audio, which I thought was
really,
yes, wonderful. It's the absolute best one I've ever heard. Very, very accurate. Much better than the Big Finish version, quite frankly.
Oh, you told me about this when it came. It came out under a slightly different name, didn't you? I had no idea that Lisa Bauman was anything to do with it, though.
Yeah, she was it was all the Big Finish crew they got to do it. So fine, that looks good. Making of animation, I quite like that. So that's the great intro from the Years tapes, right? This was from you got the Years tapes, I'm sure.
Of course I have. I bought every VHS, every DVD.
I know. So the Years tape, if you don't know, if you're not an old grey fart like me and Dad here, it's in the early 90s, wasn't it? I think when John Nathan.
They started in 91. Yeah, as soon as JNT kind of secluded himself onto the VHS range as the special advisor. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did a very good job. So they did. They had like these individual episodes they couldn't release as a thing. So they had. They just put out the individual episodes with linking material with Sylvester McCoy and one, and I thought they were very good, right? Carmen Severa audio interview I didn't listen to yet, but I think it'll probably be interesting. And more commentaries. Okay, so look, for me, I'm amazed to say it's a recommend, right? And I thought I would hate it, but I'm amazed to say it's actually a recommend. I can't imagine doing any other story with this, right? Cannot imagine at all. Have you seen the trailer for season 25?
I haven't. Do you want to play it for me?
Oh, so you probably don't know what they're putting on it yet.
No, I haven't got a clue. As I say, because my show for tonight that I'm doing, my live stream, is completely locked. So we know what's going on in that. We'll probably cover this on Monday's show. So by that point, we may know a little bit more. But yes, show me the trailer by all means.
Okay, so yeah. Firstly, I have to tell you, people were like, there was wailings and gnashings of teeth that there weren't any more Pete Mateague little mini stories. They couldn't take a break from this. And I am so glad they could I guess get to watch a trailer without watching Pete Mateague tell me about lesbians looking for sea devils. Like, so here it comes.
25.
Relatively speaking, yes. It's 25 years since I first visited your planet.
You ever seen this before?
Yes, but in a rough cut, in a time-coded form.
What do you reckon? Things more peaceful, quieter, calmer now?
Wow.
Okay. New special effects on this side. That even makes Silver Nemesis look. That's also, and I like the special effects on the original Silver Nemesis. That's what's actually sold it to me, right? But this is a different dimension. Look at that. Okay, season 25, you don't know, is 3 of the best stories I've ever seen. It's the Remembrance of the Daleks. I love Happiness with Troll, but a lot of people don't. I love Happiness with Troll and Greatest Show in the Galaxy and Silver Nemesis.
Welcome to the Candy Kitchen.
So where were you on the Candyman when he first saw him? Because there was wailing and gnashing of teeth with him. People hated the Candyman.
I think the Happiness Patrol is a really strong story and probably one of the best stories of the 80s. But I was at school, so I was like 14, 15. They just screened Remembrance of the Daleks, where everybody was taking Doctor Who seriously again. And then the week after it, you got that walking around, lolloping around on screen. It was an instant fall from grace for the series. It was very difficult.
I must be older than you then. I must be a little bit older because I was like 17, right? And so I was, don't do drugs, kids, but I was just into weed then. And oh boy, that is a great combination. Happiness Patrol and lots of weed. By the way, also another great combination is Warriors Gate and lots of weed, right? And also, obviously, Greatest Show in the Galaxy. That with, I think you could drop acid with Greatest Show in the Galaxy and it would just get better.
I waver on Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I think, in all honesty, I think it's probably an episode too long, but I do like it, mainly because the cast are so bloody great.
Oh, Ian Reddington's fantastic. The Chief Clown, what a great villain, right? What a charismatic villain. It has a burning intensity with him that you can't take your eyes off him when he's on screen.
All of the cast look like people who are who are keeping secrets. I think they're very sophisticated performances by pretty much every one of them. And I've spent a bit of time with Christopher God, who played Bellboy. He's a lovely fella, very deep. He's a proper old muso as well. He plays rock, he plays in a rock band even now, and he's like well into his 60s. So he's quite a deep soul. But I think everybody else who worked on the show, people I've seen in other things like Dee Sadler, I've seen her in lots of stuff. And she's only in this very, very briefly. But it's a really memorable character. Everybody is good.
And what's really sold me about Greater Show was how trippy it was, how surreal it was. It was basically designed to be watch high, okay? Which for me at 17, right? It was.
It's a lot more successful. It's a lot more successful, I feel, than Paradise Towers. Even though I've got a soft spot for that as well. Yeah. I think the script is. I think it's tighter. I think the characters are more studied.
Hippiness Patrol, says PD Rich. Suffered from poor special effects. Wait and see how they put it out on this set.
Doctor Who. Have you never wondered where he came from?
Look at the picture.
Who he is?
Oh, they've had a lot of fun with this. They've had so much fun with this. Look at that.
Yeah, there's lots of new special effects, and another thing that sold me with Greater Show was the confrontation he had with the Gods of Ragnarok at the end. That was just you had some great Sylvester moments. You had the confrontation with Davros in Remembrance of the Daleks, probably one of the best Dalek stories ever. I mean, I put that I prefer watching that to Genesis of the Daleks because it's a little bit tighter, right? Genesis kind of meanders a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Everything about it is perfect, and so you have this great scene, which was apparently because they put it in because they're running late, they're running short, and it was like literally written on the back of cigarette papers packets where the Doctor confronts these two snipers. Right?
Oh yeah, I know.
And it was such a dark and powerful scene, which I juxtaposed the brightness of it, which really worked well.
Happiness will prevail.
What are they?
Cybermen.
I think they put new effects on that, and boy, does it help it, right? Cybermen really helps it. By the way, I remember in the summer, before it came out, when you saw the Doctor Who fan club, whatever you saw I think in Doctor Who magazine they had the Dalek ship, right? The life size one, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? Because we just came off season 24, which was. I know you like it, right? I know you like bits.
I like it. I like it in parts. I like parts of it. I wouldn't rave about it though.
Right. It was like it was a season where they didn't know what they were doing, and it was kind of like, generally speaking, crap, right? Generally speaking, crap. But then, for me, the Components Doctor really came alive at the beginning of his second season when he came out in the tank, which most people hate, other than me. I love that.
Bluntly, Group Captain, we're a lion.
But and there was I remember with my friends, they really liked the cliffhanger on Remembrance, where Ace is trying to put the RPG and thing, and she's surrounded by 3 Daleks. And great acting by her. She looked terrified.
Yeah.
On the Doctor, because only the Doctor knows what is going on.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
They'll talk about this explosion, I think, on the commentaries. Right?
Yeah, singed the back of his trousers, didn't it?
It was huge.
Dust to dust.
Doctor Who, The Collection. The 25th anniversary season on Blu-ray for the first time, with brand new special features.
Sometimes they come back. Doctor Who companions, I mean. But there's one who never seems to stop coming back.
Didn't they already do an in-conversation with Sophie?
Apparently not. It seems not. Yeah, I thought they had as well, but...
I don't give interviews.
Everybody had been saying to me at conventions that, do you think Ace will come back? I'd love Ace to come back. People were desperate to know, to see, to have...
Right, that was the best bit of the... I love of the Tales of the TARDIS. And again, I lament it so much. Like, now I saw Empire of Death, which I didn't really like, right? But the reveal of the memory TARDIS would have been so impactful had they not done this. It's so annoying, right? This whole era is about how different ways to shoot yourself in the foot, right?
I mean, I suppose at least when it comes to the general audience, a fraction of them will have watched these tales from the TARDIS.
But they won't have any nostalgic connection to this stuff. This was made for fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Have that kind of closure, I think. And it was just the call that I never realised I'd been waiting for all that time.
The story of Andrew Cartmel and Doctor Who is like one of those miracles from the business pages.
Yeah, I'm going to be up for listening to this as well.
He comes in when the show is in crisis, he turns it around, he creates a kind of renaissance, and then...
So it's going to be Andrew Cartmel in conversation? It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, seems so.
The BBC gives it the chop anyway.
Because John had sort of run it into the ground, but then he proceeded to run it out of the ground again. And by the time we'd finished with it, with something like Survival, the show was in, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, it was in fantastic shape.
I'm sorry I was late, I was just checking the news.
Ah, what's happened?
Well, mainly it's about you. Chris has given up directing now, but he has...
What did Chris Clough do in the news? I don't know.
Looks like it was something to do with that Mr. Bates and the Post Office drama from last year.
That must be it. That must be it.
Or was it earlier this year? Yeah. I wondered why they chose to interview Chris, because they don't usually give in conversation pieces to one director. There are lots of the directors are still alive.
Like, frankly, I'll be much more interested in hearing from Alan Waring, who did he do anything in season 25? I can't remember.
Greatest show.
Oh, he Greatest Show. I like Alan Waring's work a lot. Then. Fine.
Yeah, so do I.
He did two things. He did Ghostlight and Survival.
Survival, yeah.
Hasn't left television behind, and he's produced work that has been zeitgeisty, prestigious.
I took a leap into the unknown and said, okay, I'll do one.
And you're walking into a war zone.
Back in 1988, this old school was the location of one of Doctor Who's greatest comebacks, which included charismatic 22-year-old who looked like he'd dropped in from some Hollywood movie.
I loved him straight away.
I think he died, didn't he? I think
that's right. Yeah, he passed away quite a long time ago.
I mean, I think It's a Sin was somewhat based upon him.
That's right.
Yeah. So, which we're going to find out in a minute. Because
charming, twinkly eyes.
He was just this. I was young. He was the most beautiful man in the world. He was just impossibly beautiful.
Okay, so here's my problem, right? I remember, early 2000s, my wife really got into sushi, right? Really loved sushi. It got to a point where I couldn't have sushi for like 3 or 4 years. I'm like, I'm enough. No more. I can't have any more gay Doctor Who, Russell, okay? I'm filled up with gay. I know you loved it, right? I don't share anybody in here animosity. I've just filled up to the brim with gay Doctor Who. I'm enough already.
It's not just gay Doctor Who either. It's gay absolutely everything.
Everything. Oh, please, Nigel Farage. Let's get a miracle. Let's get a miracle.
Man, you would see at parties just shining and being glamorous.
We were both, in a way, newcomers. And that was nice because we were exploring together.
As we meet the cast and crew on our first...
I remember this. This was the original Silver Nemesis release on VHS.
That's right, yeah.
Which had a terrible cover.
Day of shooting. All are working under extraordinary circumstances.
Big smiles, girls. It's showtime.
We hit it off pretty much straight away.
We just started laughing. Well, we didn't stop laughing. And Sylv, I mean, with Sylvester as well, we just laughed.
We were very naughty, weren't we, the three of us?
So the Daleks' extermination effect comes out of its gun, and as people very quickly found, if you put...
How did that get made? How did that happen?
It's still funny after 40 years.
It's never not funny, right? It's never not funny.
Pulled the Davison thing out just enough. It looked like something it was never meant to be.
Here they come. Here we
Bonnie
go.
Langford, Sophie Aldred. Who's that?
That's Jessica Martin, who played Max.
Oh, I would never have worked that out. Thank you.
Ooh, it's very scary.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, who's on the couch there? There's Janet Field. No, I don't know who the third person was.
That's Dame Sheila Hancock there, who played Helen A.
Oh, Helen A. There you go.
Yeah, actually.
There you got Sarah Sutton, Janet Fielding, and Wendy Pabry.
Ludicrous. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
That's a good combo. Nicola Bryant and like, I'll tell you, that's I might put that on the slow-mo quite a few times, let me tell you. I like the leather print, Nicola. Let me.
There's a couple of gilfs you wouldn't mind being sat in between.
Exactly. Please tell me more about Top 2.
Exciting!
Look at that for
Incredible. Yeah.
That really helps it out. So yeah, new effects in every story. It doesn't. Some of them don't really. I don't think Greatest Show really needs that much.
No.
Have a nice day.
Yes, I've been hearing disturbing rumors about Terra Alpha. Something very nasty's happening here. We've got to put a stop to it.
I wonder how Fifi's going to look. Are they going to do anything? Fifi, who was it? Sue Moore made the Fifi puppet, right, doll?
Yeah, Sue Moore and Stephen Mansfield, wasn't it?
Right. And it was okay.
We've got to put a stop to it. Tonight.
Terra Alpha is now enjoying.
Oh, well, look back that. That's another great. Again, these little things.
This is it gives it some sense of sense of location and scale. Yeah, there was no establishing shots at all in this story. Right, it really suffered from it.
It felt very confined in the studio, didn't it?
Yeah.
Alpha is now enjoying a life of happiness.
Oh, look, again, I'm sorry to keep stopping, but like these new
Terra
effects are
Alpha
excellent.
is now enjoying a life of
Yeah, these new effects are just excellent, and they really enhance it.
Very sensitively done.
And peace. This time there'll be a reckoning with the nameless doctor. For I have found.
I tell you, these new effects have really gone up in quality.
Maybe this is where they've put the money that they would have spent on the trailer thingy.
Thank God. Oh God, it's a double win. We don't get an annoying story, and we get better looking episodes.
And his secret out.
Cyber warships. Thousands of them.
Soon, you'll be completely restored.
I wonder if we're going to like the story more with new effects. Maybe they're going to cut it.
Probably not. But at least there'll be a lot of. The story is still a pile of shit.
The moment the story completely collapses is when Lady Painful meets the BBC TV thugs, right? The standard BBC TV skinheads who are nothing like skinheads in real life.
Something evil's happened here. I can feel it.
Entertain us. Yeah, Great Show in the Galaxy is basically the template for the new adventures. It's just, really is. There's that kind of bonkers filter. Die. Yeah, even like the bus conductor.
Yes, so do I.
To you weirdos. I have fought the gods of Ragnarok all through time.
Oh, wait a minute. That was the scene, I don't want to spoil it, but it's 40 years old, when Bellboy sacrifices himself, right? And he's getting killed. And then, Ian Redding and the clowns do this really great hand movement.
The gods of Ragnarok all through time.
If the Daleks are following you, what are they after?
When I was here before, hello, I left something behind. Frightening, isn't it? And to find that there are others better versed at death than human beings.
The Daleks shall become the Lords of Time.
Love a bit of Terry Malloy Davros.
25 years?
Yes.
Time for a rest.
Time to get started. Come on, Ace.
Oh, I love this era. I just love this era.
Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 25, is available to pre-order now.
Yeah, that's a must-have. So let's have a look, see what's on it in more detail. There you go. Doink, share screen. Okay, Season 25, the next installment. So what we got, let's just go to the extras. We have Are they special effects and all stories? Again, I'm really psyched about that, right? Especially Silver Neme's great. I mean, again, I would never have thought Happiness Patrol. It would never need new effects, right? So exclusive Blu-ray, original broadcast versions of Remembrance of the Daleks, Silver Nemesis, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. What's
this must be the first time. This must be the first time they've ever done a complete series with new special effects, hasn't it? Simply because the other seasons were far too many episodes.
Right. And I look, I think this is an easy one to sell to new audiences because they're like, quality. Again, who was it I watched it? It's Sensesphere. I can't remember. Who was it?
Oh, it was Review. No, it was Review It Yourself.
Review It Yourself, yeah. He'd never seen Remembrance before. I was like, this is brilliant. And it was. It's absolutely brilliant. So you got Behind the Sofa is Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford, Sophie Aldred, Nicola Bryant, Wendy Padbury, Janet Fielding, Sarah Sum, Sheila Hancock, who doesn't get the name highlighted. Oh, Karen Gladfield's in it. And Jessica Martin, she plays Alison. Mark Hardy, Cyber Lieutenant. Oh, awesome. And it was him with Ian Banks, who used to be in everything. They're appearing all the time. In Conversation, 3 new episodes. Sophie Aldred, script editor Andy Cartmel, and Chris Clough. I'm confused about, but okay. Rare documentary from 88 it's rare because it was shit, essentially. That didn't really help. So you got the VHS extended version. Look, dude, we that was one of my problems with it. I'm getting more of this. Leave me alone.
Yeah, the extended version is considerably worse. It just means you waste more of your time.
Right. But they're not mentioning new effects over here on Greatest Show, but we just seen them. Like we literally just looked at not Greatest Show on Happy. We literally just watched them. Doctor in Escape Room. So it's Sophie Aldred, Bonnie Langford, and Sylvester McCoy. That I'm going to enjoy watching. That looks fun. Sophie with Leslie Dunlop, who also appeared in the story Frontier. Oh wow, who did she pick? She was Norna, the what's his name's daughter, Professor Range's daughter in Frontiers. Right, one sec. Let me just put. Yes, because she had a very distinctive look. If it's what I'm thinking of, Frontiers.
Yeah, she got a spiky haircut.
Yeah, very 80s, very 80s. There you go. Well, I had no idea it was the same person, right? No idea whatsoever. There you go. Fine. Wait. Stephen Mansfield interview, practical effects genius. Oh man, that's gonna be fascinating.
I've never seen him interviewed ever.
Yeah, that's really gonna be fascinating. And the location footage, the studio. I've never watched that stuff. Okay, all the stuff, right? So yeah, that's a strong word, and it costs. Let's have a look. See how much it costs.
55 quid, something like that.
It's pretty reasonable. It shows me in dollars. Let's have a look. Amazon.
It's hard to believe, isn't it, Will?
Sorry?
It's hard to believe we're now looking at release dates that are towards the end of the year, when this seems like a pretty new year to me still.
It's July, baby. It's 4th of July. Yeah. We're halfway home. Again, another nice looking set. Can I expand it? Oh, yeah. I love the graphic design they do on this stuff. And there you can see the Happiness Patrol. They painted the TARDIS pink. Yeah, this is like I'm genuinely excited about, right? This is going to be good news. I think that was good. Something else, by the way, that it's quite exciting. If you didn't get these before, the 72, 87, 88, 89, and 97 and 2074 Master Annuals are all available again. Have you ever seen any of these?
Yeah, I have. We had an exclusive, in fact, on their last title on Type 40 Live, the 8th Doctor Annual. They sent us like samples and things like that, and so we did a whole thing of it. We did a big promotion for them. They haven't asked us to promote this, but yeah, they're good people. They do great things, and there's a huge market for this sort of thing, and it gives writers a good opportunity as well, fan writers, to get in there and get something out to the rest of us.
These things are just beautiful, right? They are. There's such a labor of love. So you get how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, and these are normally quite expensive, but here, cover it. Say about how much they're charging for it. It is $38 USD. That
big book like that. Yeah, so they're big books.
that really? That seems too cheap. 1 second. 38. Let's see what cover B is. No, 38. That's very reasonable, right? That is very reasonable for these, because again, these things are gorgeous and they're such an incredible labor of love. Here, let's see them on Facebook. Oh, I should have gone to Twitter instead. Yeah, because it's all about, if you see the content inside it.
Terraquius.
Avenue Who? They're on your show, weren't they?
Yeah. Jay's a really, really good bloke. We've been meaning to have him back on for a little while, actually.
I really enjoyed the interview. So, are you on tonight?
We are on tonight. Of course, we're on tonight. We are live from 8:00 as always with the return of Simon Horton's back, so that will please a lot of people. And we've got some.
And there's no shooting up with Doctor Who just talk about, so he should be okay.
Yes, so he won't need a care package delivered tomorrow. Won't need to send him a big bottle of booze and a bunch of flowers. No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But we're going to have fun. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. And apart from the Blu-rays, which are going to have to wait till another time. But we have lots of tasty morsels to get your opinions from out there in the live chat. So please be there from 8:00 with myself and a few friends huddled around the console for more Type 40 Live.
I really totally believe this spin-off is happening, the war between the land and the sea. They're starting to shoot it in September. It's going to be a late 25 release date, or let's say that it's going to be a late 20 at the earliest, late 2025 release date, which means I guess the next season will have Sea Devils and Silurians in it, because I think this is kind of a spin-off from it.
Well, you have to come at 8:00 and find out what I think. I've got some things I don't think anybody else has got out there, so I have found out some more things about this project. Come and join the fun later on at 8:00 to hear all that.
Okay, and Martha Jones. Again, this just feels like so current day Disney. You would have a Martha Jones, Kate Lethbridge Stewart, whoever, stare out with the woman in the wheelchair with the missiles. Okay, I find the wheelchair with the missiles less annoying than the mobility scooter for Jenny Rush with the machine guns, right?
Yeah, his segue, a 13, 14-year-old kid with lethal weapons.
I just it was so many bad decisions, right? It's so many shockingly bad decisions they made.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But we've got the ratings to look at as well, which I think the last ones were published a couple of days ago. So we've got all that, and we've got lots more little things as well to have fun with. Some ridiculous pictures and lots of nostalgia. We've got the Doctor Who diary, and you got to find out. Be there to find out what else is going on. It's a good escape from the election. There will be a certain amount of election fun, poking fun at everybody on the show later on. So we'll be doing a little bit of that, but it'll mostly be election free.
I don't know. Like for me, I'm detached from it. I'm still hoping for a Farage miracle, right? It's
if only.
It could happen. Listen, how far behind was Trump in 2016 on election night? It was about 5 points behind.
Was he really?
Yeah. You forget.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I'm always disappointed by these things, right? I'm always disappointed. But they need to tell you it's hopeless because he's really got a shot. That's why they keep telling you it's absolutely hopeless.
Oh, you can tell. You can tell that Farage is making a bigger impact in Britain than they wanted him to, than they dreamt he would, because they have taken they've taken all the gloves off to smear him. They were so desperate that the attempts to smear him were very, very primitive, rudimentary, and properly out of the gutter, because they knew they'd only got a couple of weeks to get something to stick. So really, it's been watching them trying to trip him up in interviews. It's been
no. When they realized they couldn't trip him up in interviews, they just made stuff up.
Yeah.
They just went and fabricating bullshit, right? And
it's not. I think it's fooled a lot of the people of our generation and older have been sort of fooled by this. The whole idea that they're sort of
younger people aren't though.
No,
younger people are seeing right through it.
They see it for exactly what it is. They recognise that he sees them, sees the things that they're concerned about, the reasons why they feel that they can't get on in life, and
it's terrible. There's no housing. You can't get on the housing ladder, right? And that was
right.
That was the great thing that Margaret Thatcher did, making people be able to buy their council houses, right? Because it generated affluence. It generated upward mobility. I think it was. I just saw a lot of people.
See, the far left don't want to empower people. They want people to be.
They want to control
reliant.
People, right?
Yeah, they want you to be reliant on the state. That's the expansion of government.
Right.
You don't need to make your own choices. Why would you? We'll look after you. We'll take care of it. Right? You don't need us.
We'll think for you. And that's how we got so many morons around. So anyway, you're talking about the ratings. People will keep saying the ratings don't matter. No, ratings don't matter. Believe me, if they were good, they would matter. So did you see this thumbnail? Which
it cost them millions to collect those ratings. If they didn't matter, whoa! Take a look. Is that Billy Gibson? Brilliant.
But the ratings don't matter. They say Billy Gibson saying exactly the same thing as you.
The return of the Jodie Bear. God, I've missed her.
Well, listen, the Jodie Bear was never going to be retired. I think there's never going to be retired. Right. Well, what else is going on that we need to talk about? Let's go over here. One second. So, you spoke about this on your show last time, right? I think you spoke about this on your Monday show.
Probably.
I wanted to.
What was that? What name was that? Who am I again? What's my name? I don't know.
Type 40? You?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes, this is. Yeah, we did cover this.
Fine. So, my take on it is this, right? Why? Okay, the question is, why on earth, in a billion years, would you employ this your new doctor who's not going to be able to make it for a quarter of the episode, essentially, right? When you know the brand is on its ass and you need to rebuild it, and you need to rebuild it with an incredibly powerful doctor. Why on earth?
Well, it seems the answer is simply because they thought he'd got a nice bottom.
Yes, but here's the thing. I think it was those people in your stream. So they think, well, he was obviously nobody auditioned. They just gave him the role, right? I don't think that happened. I genuinely think he came into the room, and just like Rusty Davis said, even though he's lies all the bloody time now. Do you remember Rusty Davis telling us that 73 yards had the best monster ever? It had literally no monster.
Oh, see, I can laugh about it now because it's been a few weeks. Simon always says that Russell T Davies opens his mouth and rubbish just comes tumbling out.
It does, doesn't it? God bless him. There's so much of it to tumble. So I think that story is true, though. He says Shooty Gatwick came into the room and he blew everybody away. Well, he blew everybody, I'm sure away.
That's a hell of an audition.
Yes, exactly. But
there's not many auditions that need a mop and bucket afterwards to clean up after.
Only the best ones. By the way, the worst job on Star Trek is cleaning the holodeck, especially after break. Although I guess to clean a holodeck, you'll just like transport the jizz into space, right? There'll be this, and then thousands of years later, there's the frozen jizz of Riker is found and he's reanimated. Okay, this writes itself. If they did another season of Discovery, that's what would happen. Let me tell you. I can't believe they're filming Starfleet Academy. Like I understand that Skydance is buying Paramount, but that's still J.J. Abrams. Nothing's going to change. They like Kurtzman.
Yeah, I won't be watching Starfleet Academy.
Oh, God. And Starfleet Academy would have been fun if it was Kirk and Spock, and like the 80s they were talking about doing that, or the early 90s.
Yeah.
But not Tilly, like eating non-stop, like binge eating. Andorians. Anyway, so my take on it is that I think, you know, when we watch a performance, right? We judge it on the performance, right? I was talking about Image of Fandom earlier, and I think, you know, Tom's and Louise's performance was fantastic. Most people's performance was fantastic in it, right? But we watch a performance and we judge them. Although I am more favourable to Nicola Bryant and Louise Jameson because they turn me on. I mean, that's just I guess it's human nature, right? But I think seeing a black gay guy who's super hot, like let's say we see Tom Baker and we give him like an 8 out of 10 on his, if you can quantify it. I think Shooty Gatwa's performance, and for me, for vast majority of the series, he got like a 3. It was like a 3 out of 10. But I think Russell, he
was great in 73 yards. Just he's only in it for like 45 seconds.
Okay, the only reason he was great at 73 yards, you didn't get sick of him in 10 seconds. They got him off the screen. They did the Jodie Whittaker ploy of getting him off the screen as fast as humanly bloody possible. Anyway, although he got time to wear another stupid outfit. So when they see somebody black, they say his performance is a 3. That gives another 4 points. They say up to a 7.
Oh, yeah,
then he's gay. It goes up another 4. Right now he's up 11 out of 10. And here's the thing: they're not making it up. They love it that much that he's black and gay, right? And they can't understand why the whole world isn't going, oh my God, this is the best thing since Tom Baker, best thing since David Tennant. You could tell that this production just expected everybody to take it into their heart and love every second, and not for it to be a crushing bloody failure, which it was.
They've been stuck in their own bubble for so long now. They've forgotten that the things that these excessive tastes of theirs, these very particular tastes of theirs, are not mainstream tastes. They fool themselves into believing that the clapping seals that surround them and the people who fuss over them and stand up for everything they say and do on social media, they fool themselves into believing that they are the majority.
Yeah, I mean, you know of this story, I'm sure. Nick Briggs posted this the other day. He's now deleted it. Right, and he deleted it and unfriended me.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, 1 second, on the wrong thing. There you go.
Oh,
right. And I'm just so sick of being called a Nazi because I have normative right wing, right of center views, and just slightly right of center, right? So I went on thinking, I'll show you my response. I'm sure it was doing the rounds. Here we go over here. Where is it? Yeah. So I said, look, Nick, this is simply defamatory nonsense, completely detached from reality. I'm Jewish and a rabbi. I don't know if I ever mentioned it. And fully reform, as do many peoples of diverse ethnicities and identities. Nothing bigger about loving one's own culture. So anyway, I'm on the wrong thing. Where'd it go?
So somebody was following Nick's social media and reported on the fact that you specifically had answered Nick's post.
Right. Yeah, no, it actually became a news story, right? It generally, but
wow.
The weird thing is because they live in this tiny bubble, they can't work out how this is offensive. I mean, firstly, it's Holocaust denial. I mean, with that, right? And don't get me wrong, I like Nick Briggs a lot. I think he's genuinely a decent person, right? I've interacted with him a number of times. He's always seemed very...
So he seems to be.
Yeah, so I don't want to denigrate him at all, right? But you live in this insane bubble, and you live in an insane bubble, right? And it's
what startled me about this is because Nick Briggs does seem a really kind of easygoing, live and let live kind of guy, and I'm sure he's got his personal politics and the things that he believes in, and
his Twitter feed is a bit extreme.
And sense of values and things like that. And so I was sort of stunned to see this because it's specifically aimed at anybody who was considering of voting for one particular party. It doesn't really matter who they are. It's for one particular party.
In his mind, the only people who ever consider voting for them are evil white racists. Because in his bubble, that's the only people that... Oh, wait. And here, one second. I showed this...
How you spoke to him, and particularly if you're friends. I've never met never met Nick. But if you're friends, you'd think that he'd put this out there for his friends to see. So I would have thought he would be interested at least in what you got to say. You replied to it perfectly politely.
And I wasn't rude in the slightest,
No.
right? But here, again, look at this Farage clip. I played it earlier, which...
What was I going to do for the black community? Do you know what I said? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I couldn't give a damn whether you're black or white, whether you're gay or straight. I really don't care. You'll be judged by your character. You'll be judged by your ability. You'll be judged by, are you a contributor to society or a taker out? And right at the moment, this is considered to be dangerous, radical thinking. But I think if we can start to explain why this matters...
Everybody felt like this 10
10
years ago,
exactly.
let alone 20, 30.
Yeah, this was normal.
This isn't a controversial thing to say at all.
Right, exactly. But again, people like Nick Briggs.
Do you remember how David Tennant spoke quite recently on another issue about basic human decency? This is basic human decency. What Farage said there.
Yes, treating people as people is probably a good thing, right? Probably a good thing. Anyway,
not insisting that somebody be quiet because you don't like their opinions.
That's it. We moralize our political differences, and it's been an absolute disaster, right? Absolute disaster. Sorry, not a disaster. However, one second, let me show you this. There we go, doink. Got Companion Chronicles are on sale, so these are all too expensive. One second. Let me just go to the cheaper ones. They spent there $190 for this is like a book on tape, 60 minutes. It's a perfectly pleasant.
I've got so many of these things on CD, again, boxes and boxes of them.
I digitized everything. So this is I basically recommend everything I've seen on screen. If you want to do really well, Louise Jameson, they did trilogies with them, which were really good. So
I remember.
Louise Jameson did The Catalyst, Empathy Games. There was another one.
You know what? I long for the days when Big Finish had two lines. They had the main range and the Companion Chronicles, and they would have a box set or a mini series, say twice a year at the most. You could keep track of everything. Each story mattered, and the quality was outstanding for the most part. Or at the very least, it was interesting. You never felt like you'd wasted even half an hour of your time.
Well, the one I listened to today, I really liked the Dark Gallifrey one. I thought somebody who I like in his opinion, we almost always agree on. He hated it because it's completely non-linear because it's dealing with time falling apart.
Is this the David Warner one, the brand new one?
Yeah, I love that. By the way, another great one, The Suffering. This is one of the best things on. Well, I don't want to say feminism, but it's all about the suffrage movement, about women getting the vote, and it's such a great script, right? It's such an absolutely fantastic script. It's got Maureen O'Brien and Peter Purves. Who wrote this? I'm trying to see it right. It was written by Jacqueline Rayner. One of the best things she's done. It's absolutely fantastic. So, Empathy Games, Catalyst, that's the recommend, and also you had this Gene Marsh trilogy. Again, for $1.90.
Oh, these were really good. Yeah, I bought all three of those.
Yeah. Totally worth it. The Key to Time you can give a miss to. Mahogany Murders. Mahogany Murder. This was the first time they brought back Jago and Lightfoot, and this led into the Jago and Lightfoot adventures, which is also fantastic. That was great.
Wonderful stuff.
Let me just see if there's any more. This one's also great. The Solitaire, Celestial Toymaker episode with India Fisher. Guardian of the Solar System, also a Gene Marsh one. Fantastic, right? The Gene Marsh trilogy. Where's the Final Places? Okay.
Actually, it makes me want to go back and listen to these again. I've got them all right the way through.
Perpetual Bond. Oh, Gay Doctor Who when it was good. Oh my God. So this is a new companion comes on for 3 releases with Peter Purves, right? And he's a businessman. He's a stockbroker from the 1960s, and he's gay. And he's because of the 60s, he's very closeted gay, and he basically comes out and leaves in this trilogy. But again, it's very sensitively written, right? I really liked it. Rocket Man, another excellent one. First Wave, that's the last one of that. Memory Cheats, that's a Zoe trilogy as well. Where's the one I really like? There's a Joe Grant one called The Scorchers, which was freaking awesome. It's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I remember that one as well.
It was like Joe Grant invaded with the invasion of the Muppets, essentially. There you go. That's 510. That's not. Why is that so exciting? 190 is what is the price when you're going to sell them. 637. Are you out of your bloody mind? Stop. Oh, well, 190. Fine. So go up to. Don't spend more than 190 on them, right? But you could really clean up and get yourself a bunch of really great Doctor Who here, which strong recommend, right? Strong recommend. And what else? Yeah, 1 second. We got news. Something else happened with them recently, which was they bring out a new suit. Oh yeah, the Doctor Who Stuff of Legend.
Live experience. Well, I was confused because I know a few people who've got tickets for this, but they don't actually go on sale until tomorrow morning. And so I thought, the people who have got tickets. Oh, you can.
Yeah, I think I even sent you a message about it. Man, 1 second.
So I went to the website. It just says tickets not available until tomorrow.
Oh, I think you might be out of luck, mate. Which one would you want to go to? The 7:30 or the 2:30?
Oh, I hadn't thought about it.
Well, let's look at the 7:30. See how sold out it is. Get tickets. Now, for this one, I think they should. Okay. So the cheap ones are gone. They're now. You only got. All per includes all per ticket fees. I have no idea how this stages there. When I looked at it earlier, it didn't look like this. Now let's look at the 231 then. Ticket no, okay, over here. But again, if you want to go to this, I would. This is something they should be doing a lot more. Now the thing is, though, I think they. It's not opening up. Come on. You can do it.
This could be a tester for maybe doing it more regularly, I'd say.
I'm sure it is. Because Colin Baker does a lot of these audio readings on stage. There's Sherlock Holmes ones.
Yeah, just ghost stories and all sorts. I think just things at Christmas and stuff, yeah.
Right. So the artist. So maybe you'll be able to get kept tomorrow.
Or if only.
This morning.
Speaking of which, I better dematerialise.
Right. Oh yeah, it is late. It is late. But before you go though,
thank you. Yes.
Before you go, my last thought on this is that I'm on the wrong thing. Where is it? Doink is like the story I'm vaguely interested in, but I might buy the release. I'm more interested in the experience. Like I wish they would sell this as a like a live stream, or you can buy a DVD of the experience. That would be much more. They should have They should have a set. Where you should
write to Nick Brixabeth.
Well, I would do, but he literally just unfriended me. You know? I think it might be a bit fucked off of me, especially if there's a Nigel Farage miracle, right? That is not the time to say, "Hey, Nick, how you doing? You feeling happy?"
I mean, perhaps he shared that simply because it amused him. You know, we've assumed that he shared it in with a sense of spite and malice. He may have just shared it because
I don't think he did. I think he believed it though. I think he thinks it's real. But yeah, what can you do? Anyway, heading on. So yeah, they should sell this as a DVD and a CD of the story.
They'd clean up. I'd buy that.
They would. I would totally buy that. Fine.
Yes.
You have to head off.
Thank you, mate. I'll see you soon. I'll see some of you hopefully later. But thanks for your time, mate.
All right, very good. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you anon. Toodle pip. And he's off. Fine. I think with that, let's have a quick look at what we're going to do on Saturday night. Oh, Saturday. I am so covering the Neil Gaiman story, right? Here, do I have the thumbnail I'm working on for Saturday stream? There we go. Let me zoom into it a little bit for you. Again, I've only just started working on it, so it's far from ready yet. Let me go share screen. Now, the reason why I want to cover this story is because Neil Gaiman is such a woke virtue signaling piece of shit. Oh my god! I like, you know what, when they cast Sandman on Netflix, like they had everybody's bio in it. I just like, what the hell? And he cast this black woman to play Death, who's very white, right? So he's been in a, I think, reasonably credibly accused of sexual assault. Although, you know, it's not right really jump to conclusions, but like, it's always the way, right? People are always virtue signaling to show how to cover up how they're shitty people. And the other thing is, Neil Gaiman was in this open marriage, and look, no guy wants to be in an open marriage. No guy wants somebody to fuck their woman, right? It is. I mean, I guess it might be a kink, but it doesn't do it for me, right? Most guys are repulsed by the idea, right? So, but people buy into it, like Will Smith, you know, because they go, "Oh, it means I can fuck other women as well." No, it's a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea. So so we're going to be covering that Saturday. And here, let me show you the other things I've been trying to get to. Man, I got so many reviews now. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, like pretty good. I normally do. So here we look at some of these articles we need to get to. Doctor Who season 14 was a jump-on start to the sci-fi series that needed for years. No, it wasn't. I mean, only if you're super gay. If you're super gay, fine. But if you're normal gay, you're like, what's all the gay shit, right? Doctor Who's back, but missing a key aspect of the show's history. Like being asexual, maybe. I'll do it. Oh, this is worth the first thing I'm getting to on Saturday. I'll do it again. Doctor Who showrunner has no problem rewriting the show's history and history and canon contradictions. I'm sure you will do it again. Doctor Who's fourth divisive finale in a row is my biggest problem with the show right now. Very good point. Doctor, it doesn't look like anybody's happy with it. That's the thing. People are like, oh, this is kind of shit, right? It's just kind of shit. What's this over here? Doctor Who finally kills the best companion. I don't even know. Whoa, Sutek? I don't know. Oh man, that finale was shit, right? Was absolute shit. Fine with that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap up. I will be back. Listen, if Farage wins, I'll do a bonus stream tomorrow, right? I don't think I'm doing bonus. I hope I am, but I don't think I am. I'll do a bonus stream tomorrow. Go, hey! Right? That would be awesome. And maybe I'll do it always. I do it anyway. I do not know. Anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up. We're going to hit the end broadcast button again. Say good night, good luck, and may your God walk with you. And that Wizzy will, the Wizzy will of love.